Okay, this is Max, and this is my final project class presentation. The theory that I have selected is cognitism. My audience is international students with low intermediate level of English language proficiency. Instructional goals are to teach them to use present tense be verb to describe themselves, their friends, to identify objects, describe occupations and relationships. This lesson is usually something we teach at the very beginning of the semester, because they've come back to class usually after a break, and this is good information to refresh them. Some of the students may remember it. Some of them that are just coming into the program, this may be fairly new material to them. The students' learning objectives, here list the students' learning objectives to describe themselves, to describe their friends, and then to identify objects, occupations, and relationships. There's 3 links here. I'll put these on my discussion board posts so you can go straight to those. But the first one is the pretest. So here is a pretest asking them basically to do what their learning objectives are. Tell them about themselves. Tell me about their friends. And then we have the instruction and exercises. I'm going to turn the volume down here so I can kind of walk you through it. It's recorded. This is using EduPuzzle. Okay, in this lesson we're going to learn how to use present tense be verb to describe yourself and your friend. It's easy to describe. Okay, so you get the idea. It's me narrating it. The narration goes along, and we try to first activate some schema by talking about asking them how they describe themselves in their native language, and then presenting a question. We give them 4 sentences here, and then ask them which sentence talks about the age, talks about age, job, health. And the idea there is to get them curious about the lesson, get them sort of tuned in. And then we get down to the instruction. On the instruction, I use myself as the guinea pig, as my picture. And then I construct the sentences using the be verb to describe my condition, physical characteristics, and personality. And then turn around and give the students an opportunity to do that, describing themselves. Now I'm going to let this kind of scroll on. The audio is giving them instructions on creating sentences describing themselves, and this EduPuzzle gives you the opportunity to put in questions, and then so the student would type in their response. So they'd say, I am, for instance, tall, and then they would submit that, and then continue the program. And then it would stop and say, okay, tell you about your physical characteristics. Oh, that was the one I was supposed to do, is tall. But anyway, so we'll do I am, the condition, I am healthy. Period. And then you continue, and then it says, okay, describe your personality. I am chatty. Okay. And then with EduPuzzle, you get to the students will have an account, and they'll be able to log in. Then I go on to describe similar scenario where they're describing their friend. This is my sweetheart, and I'm describing her. And then after I demonstrate that, then the students are asked to do the same thing with their friend. And this silhouette here is supposed to be like their friend. So they said, describe your friend's condition. He is healthy. And then they go on, and then it would say, continue, and then it would go on and say, your friend's physical condition. And I'm just going to tell it to go on for the sake of time, and then their personality. Just type something in there to go on. And then we continue on, and I demonstrate using the be verb to describe something, to describe occupations. We start off with ice cream, and then a picture of myself and this person who I said was a doctor. He's actually a buddy of mine from school. And then go on to describe relationships. In this case, I use a picture of my sweetheart and her sister, as and say they are sisters. And then it goes on, and it asks them to complete sentences about these pictures. So they would describe. It'll stop, and it'll ask for them to what is their relationship. I'm just going to go on. And then it goes on to the next one, and it says, I think it says to identify something, and they're supposed to write the sentence there. And then finally, I forgot what the last one was. Last one is, this young lady's occupation. What is her occupation? Okay. And that completes the instructional video. And then that's followed by a post-test. And this one a little less no scaffolding other than to just the blank to tell them to describe themselves using 5 grammatically correct sentences, and then describing their best friend using 5 grammatically correct sentences. Here, if you'd like to read, this is how learning occurs in this. 3 essential conditions for meaningful learning are met. This combinatorial learning, where we originally bring up how they describe themselves in their language, and then it relates to this new idea of describing themselves in English using the simple present be verb to describe characteristics. And then once they get that characteristics down, then it's derivative of subsumption when they apply that structure that they use for characteristics to conditionals, or to conditions. And that's it. If you have any ideas on improving, let me know. I'll put the links to these artifacts items on my discussion board post. Thanks a lot.